Hey, here to do another video. I'm at Stanley Park, near the duck ponds. Whoa. Look at all that. Now, believe it or not, this place used to be populated with ducks. And it still is, just the population has lessened. Most of the ducks that make their home here are mallards, the native mallards. Yeah. So the mallards are the most native duck to North America. And the native wildlife here that make their home here are the native mallard ducks, the gray squirrels here. Also a flock of Canadian geese and domestic geese. These are domestic Edmund geese and some crosses. This one here is buff Toulouse geese. I'd say that's a hen. And the one over right there is a gander. This one is a buff Toulouse gander, an older one though. And the rest of these white ones are just Edmund. And then right here is a Edmund baby. Edmund gosling, about 6 weeks old. Appears to be a male. Appears to be a gander. And how you can tell that is that the gander, its beak right there, has a little slant to it, where a hen's beak would just be straight flat. But, yeah. So these ones just hatched. Then there's most of this is populated by wild mallard ducks and wild Canadian geese. Right over here is an example of a newborn Canadian goose. You can tell because its neck isn't as long as the other ones. And then new mallard hens coming around this area. I'd say this is a newer one because it's smaller. And it just hatched about a few months ago. Mallard ducks usually start laying their eggs from early March and they stop nesting about late July. So and their breeding season is from March to August, and then they pair up for mates in around October through January and February until they breed, and then the drakes split up to go somewhere else, and the females are left to raise their eggs. A female literally usually sit on a clutch of 12 eggs and will lay an average of 50 eggs per year, most in the summer, and could hatch out and raise about 12, 13 babies. Most of them might make it to adulthood. I'd say about 7 ducklings might make it to adulthood. And if harsh conditions were to come, then I'd say most ducklings would die. Most of the native population here is just Canadian geese and mallard ducks, with the occasional black, gray, and brown squirrels that also, and a population of koi fish here at the pond. These koi fish mainly come in shades of tan, orange, even brown. But they make their home here in the ponds of Stanley Park. Actually, my grandfather, Benjamin Skip Hallmark, he actually designed this pond. He worked with the city of Westfield to design and build this pond. So Benjamin Skip Hallmark designed and built this pond. And that pond over there. There's two main ponds areas. There's this one over here with the windmill, with that over there, and a barn, which some domestic geese use for the winter. And then there's this big pond with the stairway and this rail deck walk along where you can walk to the parking lot, which is over there. This is where the koi fish are located, and that's where the ducks and geese use their pond. But yeah, and then occasionally birds will make their way here. All the birds like cardinals, they inhabit this land area. And chipmunks also inhabit this little area here, with the occasional woodpeckers always pecking. Yeah, this is basically and you can also find old moss that grows here, with the occasional bush trees, oak trees, big redwoods, mushrooms, and all that stuff. Stanley Park but this is just one location of Stanley Park. This is the pond area. Now, there are other locations in Stanley Park, but I'm at the pond area, and I'm not gonna show you guys all the locations. Maybe in future videos, but no. This is just about the pond today, and its inhabitants, mainly fish and wildlife. But yeah, so basically, yeah. So here's a funny little story about to tell you. So there used to be a pair of wood ducks here. They are native around America, North America. There were a pair of wood ducks here. They would come every fall. Usually they would arrive around fall and be here a little bit in the winter, but then go to another place. I don't know where they went, but they usually would sit right around here near the koi fish pond and would just relax, take in the peaceful surroundings. I have not seen them last year. I believe they are deceased, but I do not know. They could arrive this year, but so far I have not seen them. And there was also a big giant mute swan here at one time. It was the only swan here. It used to hang out right around where those people are walking, right there. It would hang around by that bench area. You get fed duck food, and he wouldn't attack you unless you didn't leave him alone. If you walked up to him and started petting him, he would bite you, but only to tell you that he is not interested and he would like to be left alone. He recently died last year of old age because he was really old. He was here for about, I want to say 10, 15 years. That's a long time. So, longer than I've been alive. And I'm like a teenager, like 14. So that's longer than I've been alive, so. Yeah. But I'm showing you the beautiful scenery that reflects off the water here. Pine trees all around. Beautiful koi fish. There were mallard ducklings at one point, but that was in the spring. They've all grown up now. There usually aren't a lot of ducklings. There'll be a batch. Usually there'll only be one mother who hatches like one batch every year, and the rest of them will just be natives. So we're gonna see if we can try to spot some chipmunks. They're usually all around, but they usually come around this area. Now, and here are some waterfalls here. Beautiful sound of waterfalls. Really nice. Alright, I'm gonna go away from here because I don't want to drop my phone in the water, because then you won't see this video. But, yeah. They usually hang around in this part. Oh, and here's one of the black squirrels. They're native to this part of the pond. They usually use the trees to climb all up here and all that. There are some occasional snapping turtles that will come here, and occasional American turtles. They're small usually, but some snapping turtles you can see here. Basically, they're everything that you can imagine in the wilderness is native to here. But, yeah. Like over here.